What's going on, everyone? I am Candid Nicole, and this is Just Being Candid. On today's show, I'm talking to a really dope creative by the name of Cal D. Johnson. Now I just call him Cal. See, Cal's an exceptional photographer, videographer, and film producer. I've known Cal for a few years, and I enjoyed watching his come up. So let's get right into the show on this edition of Just Being Candid. Welcome. What's going on, everyone? I am Candid Nicole, and like I said earlier today, I have a really special guest. He calls it digital creative. I saw on your website, so that's what you called it.
Oh, digital creative.
So I'm gonna take that. Digital creative professional. His name is Cal Johnson. I'm gonna throw it out there.
No, that's good. That's good.
Cal
Javon.
Johnson.
So the D is silent on the middle name.
Oh, see, I didn't want to throw the
Don't
whole
worry about
government
that.
out there.
No, throw the whole government out there.
Okay,
It's all
so
good. It's
Cal
all good.
Javon.
Javon Johnson. Yeah.
Cal Javon Johnson. That's a fly name. Go ahead, Mom.
You know what?
I like that.
We can talk about that later
I
on.
like that. And the company is kdjperspective.com.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, for those who don't know, I don't know him, but I've seen him around. We have mutual friends. Always a good energy. So he's a photographer, videographer, film producer. I mean, you name it, he's done it. Really great pictures. So we're gonna get right into it. I want to know, where are you from?
I'm from Philly.
Oh, you from Philly?
Yeah.
So you're not even from New York?
No, not at all.
See, I thought you was from Brooklyn.
My folk are from. My folk. People say I guess I give that Brooklyn vibe.
You got the Brooklyn vibe. Yeah.
I don't know what the Brooklyn vibe is. It's somewhat love when you see black folks, especially they like own businesses and all that. That's like kind of like the connection I get.
It's not Bronx. Cause Bronx is real. Like, I don't trust you.
Yeah,
because I'm from the Bronx. I can say that.
Oh, I feel that. Yeah, I'm a little more open with the trust.
Yeah.
And whatnot. I'm just like, hey, black people, let's just come together, let's love each other and all that.
Exactly.
Let's do this.
So that's dope. From part of Philly?
Southwest. So originally, if anybody knows about Pennsylvania, like when I'm in here in New York, like I'm not going to say Upper Darby because nobody knows what Upper Darby is. So I was born in Yeadon, then went to Upper Darby, then after that went to Southwest Philly. So then from that point on, I just been in Philly. But so I'm originally from just PA.
Okay.
But nobody really knows what Upper Darby is when you're outside of PA. But for anybody that is from Philly, I always say Upper Darby. But Upper Darby has now become like a baby Philly. So
what's that like? What was like childhood like? Is it like what Meek describes it, or is it something opposite?
Is it like, so Philly was on the other side. So it was always like that thing on like, it was like the demonized place. It was kind of like that meme with Mustafa and Simba. It's like, what's that over the horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you was in Upper Darby, it was kind of like, so I was in the suburb when like it was just, I was one of the few blacks that were there. So I remember like this kid, Scott Snyder, calling me a nigger. And I just remember me being like, wow, you were raised like that. I remember me being in like second grade, and I was like, you got taught
second
that.
Grade?
I was like, you got taught that. And it was like weird because I was like, like I thought that
crazy.
I was like fresh off Roots. So it was like,
no, like
it was like a
crazy,
thing. And I was like, oh, it's still here. But I do remember I was like one of the, so I was like in Section 8 housing coming up and things like that. And then of course it started being like more expanded and all that. So then I saw more of my folk coming over from Philadelphia. Okay. So then that's the reason why I got more into like a Philly type of vibe. Cause it's literally like a sneeze over.
Got you.
Yeah, but it's like one of the biggest suburbs in America and whatnot. But I just remember being over there and I remember being diverse. So I always have like a real diverse type of look on things. It's kind of why I fuck with everybody.
And it helps you in the future.
Yeah, because not all of us are black. We're supposed to like stick together. Like we come back, we root ourselves, but we go out into a multicultural world. Like,
no, that's a fact. Like when I was getting ready to go to college, like years ago, my mom, she was like, "What college you want to go to?" And I was telling her a few. She was like, "Well, just make sure when you go to college, make sure there's like white people out there." I was
there's white people everywhere though.
I know, but she was like, "Just go to college," because I came from just Spanish, black. She was like, "This is always going to be here."
That's real.
Go learn how to interact with, other cultures. Not just white, but she was like, go see other faces.
Mm-hmm.
Try for a year, and if you don't like it, you can come back. So I was like, all right,
I mess with
cool.
your mama. She gave you.
Yeah,
like,
so I tried it for a year, but she got sick, and then I was like, I'm going to come back. I was like a mama's girl. But out there and feeling so young, were you always like into like creative stuff? Like were you drawing, taking pictures?
I think the only artistic thing I was doing was I used to know how to like trace a lot, and I used to draw just because. But I drew whatever I was actually doing at the time.
Oh, okay.
So like if I was playing Mortal Kombat, I would draw that, and then I would present it in school, and they were just like, he needs therapy, and I'm like, no. I remember being in therapy for like because I would like visually
they go on
see
based
it.
off your pictures.
Yeah, they look at it. He's like, this kid is. You might give me nothing in the right
No
class.
one knew that was Mortal Kombat. You're like, no, this is Mortal Kombat.
I'm like, this is Dragon. This is Liu Kang. I used to do the whole thing, and they were just like, we're gonna talk to your parents. I was like,
wow.
Yeah, they told me. I remember one time they told me to change it, and I was just like, I would have stuck in my ways. I was like, this is what I know right now. This is the most popping thing. This is good detail. Like, what? I'm not giving this up.
Like not like who.
You see the stick figure right? I drew a dragon. I unleashed the dragon. What are you talking about? Like,
don't send me therapy. Send me to gifted school.
Nah, they was like they talked to my mom and all that and try to say, he's a little
out there.
Yeah, and then my mom was like, you can't draw with the guns and all that type of shit.
Oh,
I'm not even like a violent person though.
I know,
it's
just,
just,
she's probably like, listen, I can't take no more phone calls because the next step is gonna be different.
Yeah, because I ain't taking off of work over your stinking ass. Like
exactly.
I'm gonna need you to get right.
Draw the guns out.
So it was probably just drawing, but it's the beautiful thing about my journey is that when I was young, it really wasn't something that like I had ideas and all these other type of things, but it was always diluted because whenever I put it out to like my family or my friends, things like that, it just wasn't. It's not like New York where you can put an idea out and it's incubated.
Right.
It's just more of those things on like a survivalist type of mindset, which is totally understood. Like, what the fuck are you talking about that's not here right now? Why is that relevant? Which is understood coming up, but it kills creativity for kids.
That's true.
So it's I spent a lot of time by myself. I was only a kid, so like I would play music and then have like my teddy bears and toys and shit. You get what I'm saying? But I would go hard at that shit. Like it was on some Five Temptations type shit. Like
now, because you find when you're forced to be creative. Because my sister's 15 years older than me, so she was already like out and about when I was born. So when you the only kid, technically, you just find your own type of entertainment. Oh,
you was like Helga and Olga for Hey Arnold when she used to come back. Get your ass back in college.
I have the joints everywhere. I used to like listen to Angel Martinez and pretend like I was at the interview. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, used to be on the side like, yeah. What else? Yeah. Refrigerator off the top of the roof. Yup, what? You were just never on camera.
So when did you like pick up the camera and start? Like, when did this happen?
Well, I started in video.
Okay.
Because when I went from Upper Darby to Philly, it was like one of those. They said it was going to send me to the select school and whatnot, but basically, like every school in Philly has their certain trade.
Okay.
And it just so happens that the trade was communications and technology. So I got to learn how to get into like all of this.
This is in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
So like some of them, like mine's was that. Then it's like ENS is engineering and science. It's another one, Dobbins, that does like hair and fashion.
Oh, okay.
Another one does like cars. You know what I mean? So it's not really meant for college. It's meant for you to just like, let's get to the job.
Yeah, that's smart.
So yeah, in a way, half of the way it discourages kids from thinking that they can go to college if that's a way that they need to go.
Gotcha.
But the thing about it is, once I was finished with high school, I went into college, was doing all video and whatnot. Photography came in Thanksgiving of 2016 because I remember I was shooting. You know who Sharif Keys is?
Yeah, that's how we met.
Boom. Sharif, I was shooting him doing video, so you know how he.
So you did his videos.
You know how? No, his brother does his music videos. But I was like, yo, I was fascinated by him.
Yeah, Sharif got good energy.
So I was like, yo, like, would you be mad if you had just another angle? So I used to come in and just be on the other side, things like that. And I remember this one guy came up. He was like, do you do photography? I lied like a motherfucker. I was like, yeah, just email me. I'll come with a rig. We could talk all that bullshit. Like, it's totally bullshit. I went home to my fiance at the time, and after that, she was like, so you gonna email him back? I was like, I don't know nothing about that. Like I tried to just like slide out that.
I just didn't want to look stupid.
Yeah, so I wanted to seem like I'm a professional, but she started to kind of like put it out there like you got to do that. And I remember I scooped up the camera one Thanksgiving and I was sneaking in pictures. My cousin pulled up on me, was like, do you do weddings? And I'm about to say no, and then she comes up and says, yes, he does. I was like, damn. So like for some reason. Like at that point, I had to become serious. So I already knew photographers and creatives from where I was at and things like that. So I was just like, all right, well, if your homies are willing to teach you, then go and do that. So I just started like shooting every day and just like really learning it to learn the technical side, understand what lighting is and all that. So I was out in these cold ass New York streets just like shooting anything.
Nah, that's dope. And you took the time. Yeah. So it wasn't just point and shoot. You actually studied your craft, and so it was a mixture of like schooling and you pretty much self-teaching.
Yeah, it was just
and your homies around you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you do photography and if you willing to like, you just want to shoot, can I just join you? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you chilling with the homies, boom, 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 and then like you take a picture, just ask right there and quick. Like I encourage them to get back out, and the next thing you know, they were teaching me. So that's how I was able to really really start to learn. But I took like 2017. I was on the ground like every fucking day.
Yeah, I seen you.
Like I was on.
And I knew you by your fro.
Everywhere, yo. And I had the hot top at the time. And that motherfucker started leaning and shit.
I saw you, but I remember. I forgot what it was. It was some event. I forgot. And then like, damn, what was it? It was a Digilog event somewhere in WeWork in the city.
Yep.
And I saw you on the stage. I was like, oh, there you go right there. Because the hair's... So you was like, you always on your grind. And that's one thing, like, when it comes to photography, like past Culture Con, I saw, like, all the photographers there and things of that nature. So how do you deal with, like, getting that shot and getting the shot first? So that way the company that you're taking the pictures for uses your shot over the rest. Like how is that? Like, explain the game. Like, how does that work?
I mean, if you go by someone else's validation, then it may not be good for you.
Right.
I always looked at it as I'm here because you like my eye. So I'm not going to change anything up. I'm not going to change the way that I shoot. I'm not going to change how I shoot or how I interact.
Right.
Like, if I know someone on the stage, I'm not going to act like I don't know them. Like, I'm going to call you over. I'm going to get my shot just the same way that I would do if I was out in the street. Like, when I met some people that were on the stage at CultureCon, like, I met them, like, in the street. Like, I met them at birthday parties of, like, their families. So I got to actually connect.
No, I saw you. Someone was like, hey, and they just came on. You was like, stand right there.
Yeah, like, I'm like, I need this. Like, I need this right quick. And he'd be like, oh, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Mac Wiles did the same thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, that's dope.
So it's just about, it's not really about, am I taking the picture so that someone else could use it for the website or something like that. At the end of the day, I'm here. I'll give you these raws. You can do whatever you need to do with it. You already know what type of vision I have. You know how I shoot. So I just go in there and I just say, listen, let's see how we can improve. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just come, it's a confidence now where it's like, my eye is good enough. I understand that I have my batteries charged. I got my card on me. I got space. And I know how to connect. So if I need to
give it up.
Yeah. So it's just like, you don't got to go in there with no stress. So it's just all about just, catching that moment, catching that vibe so people can have like history. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. So you talked about like the people, hey, you photography, and you kind of fronted and said, yeah, when you really didn't. But you had that push to get it going. So what was that like first shoot like? And what was the biggest takeaway that you had to be like, okay, I can't do that again?
My first shoot was kind of popping though. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you know the reason why? Because like it was like it always touched on like the family and shit like that. So my ex's homegirl had had kids. She was like, can you shoot my kids and whatnot? I was charging like a bean or something like that. So I was just like, I was hyped to just get a bean. You know what I'm saying? Like, she couldn't believe that I was going to like shoot all of these hours and like she'd go through a family shoot for like $100. So she was psyched about it. But the one thing about it is like I fuck with kids. So like kids are dope. Like at the end of the day, they just want to really have fun. Like this structure, they really don't get down with. It's all about just like playing imagination and all that. And I'm just like, I'm kind of like the grown version of that. So like, what's going on in your mind? So you just start connecting and things like that. And it's not coming down to the level. It's just about tapping into your more freer side. So it was dope to just connect with those kids and be able to get some like really dope shots. And then of course, when you go through that type of route, when you got kids on your page and all that, people automatically gonna be drawn in and all that. So
because that shows a lot. Like, okay, if he can get these children to take nice pictures, it shows patience. Yeah, definitely.
You got to like be in it.
No, for real. That's what I'm saying.
You got to keep shooting too, because you just got to capture a moment. Because sometimes they fall into a moment and they'll just snap back out. But if you're there with them and you just make them forget that you have a camera, then it's all about just the connection, and that's when you start capturing like beauty and all that. Just make people. It's all about making that connection and having that medium, that camera, just making it, just getting that out the way. That's really what it is, because people get kind of like, they get frozen up whenever they see that camera. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So then let's talk about like because now you're charging and you're doing well now. I mean, you're taking really popping pictures. So how has it been when, in your earlier stage, when you have to start letting people know this is my price? I'm not going down for you. This is what it is. Like, how do you handle like people who want like the homegirl discount in your early stages? Because now you can't. People who come up to you, I feel now they shouldn't even be asking for a discount. Like, they shouldn't even take it there. But when you're like early, when you just beginning, people don't know like how serious you're taking it. How did you handle it? And was it like, was you offended?
No, because at the end of the day, it was like, I'm trying to get on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been on these streets every single day out in New York, regardless of weather, and like going to like free events and blah, blah, blah. So I was hitting up just a bunch of free events. So if I was getting introduced to a private event, it was like, all right, bet. Well, I get to get into that circle and let me see if I can.
Right.
It was all about like, if you could just get me into the room. Like, I'm at least confident enough to know if I can get into the room. Because when I kind of lined it up, I'm like, could you have gotten into the 40/40 club this early? And I was like, just go get that, go get a light bag. But you know who's going to be there. With that being said, yeah. So it's all about you. You look at it from a bird's eye view instead of looking at it from just money. Because if it was just money, then I would probably be fucked up now because I would have denied so much. You know what I'm saying?
No,
which wouldn't have gotten me where I am today because it's been a lot that's been released for me saying like, yeah, I'll go through a test drive. Because like, mind you, I was also new. I was driven, but like I didn't have a lot of workout and things like that.
Right. So you had to keep building the portfolio.
Yeah. So every time somebody was like, can you go shoot something? Like, all right, bet it's another perspective.
Now I wish other people had that perspective because like I was telling my mentor this morning how sometimes people block their opportunities chasing the bag.
Yeah.
Like that's when because I had told a friend yesterday I was like, hey, I'm at this audio. I was at the Audio Engineer Society convention, and I was seeing like all these different audio equipments, like different things out there. So I was telling my friend who's an engineer and producer. I was like, yo, there's a lot of things out here. Is there any particular brand or something that you want me like to interact with to see like about the latest trends? And they was like, if it's not about a bag, it's not worth talking. So I'm like, okay, like
yeah, you want a different vibe.
Yeah,
that's a survivalist mindset. You can't.
It's like, are you
shit for
serious?
legacy. Like you got to get off that.
Because the place it was like all the upcoming technologies for next year.
Shit.
So it was like,
you get into the
and
foundations
then
of those
convention.
right
I'm a good talker. I can get like a card and recommend you to something. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna enjoy this to myself.
Well, you get 2 times. You get 2 scoops now on that.
Yeah, I was like, because I didn't need what was there. I mean, it was actually beneficial. I learned some new phrases like metadata, and I learned a lot of geek stuff that I can use now. But
look at you now, you in the nerd talk.
Yeah, so but like we were saying, like sometimes you have to change the perspective and look at the big picture. So now, what has it been like now for you? Like, cause now like you're out there. So what's been some of your biggest accomplishments as far as like photography or videography? Like something, have you ever had a moment when you're like, wow, I can't believe I took this shoot or this video?
Yeah, I've been in some circles where I was just like, especially once you just kind of fall into, like you may be shooting like a local artist or something like that, and next like, I remember it was a time I shot this singer named Sasha from LA. She had hit me up. She seen something on Instagram and she's like, I'm coming to New York. I want somebody to vlog it, cover it for me and all that. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I just remember following her around and just the circles that she was in, like being able to go into certain studios. And all of a sudden I found out the party that she was doing, that she was going to be presenting, and it was like Neo and like Iman Shumpert, and then like Kyrie was there. And I'm sitting there like, oh shit. Like,
I can't believe this.
Yeah, and like Kevin, Wayne, Wayne and Kevin Hart's team and whatnot. Like that's her manager and shit.
Boys and all that.
Yeah, so I was just like, when I walked out, I was like, holy shit, like Philadelphia. But it's kind of like you just handle the moment like right then and there. If there was any like accomplishment that I felt, it's been more personal. It's been about like I had to realize I had to take time out of the equation because I feel like I would hold myself back a lot because it was like a lot of things was happening in a short period of time. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of snuck into that one. I kind of like, I just happened to be here. And I was really diluting what like God really had for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's the dope thing is being able to step around the same people that I did before, whether it be like notoriety or not, and feel comfortable fully within myself, to now where it's like, if I need a picture of CultureCon, I'm going to be like, hey, come here for a minute, I need this. You know what I'm saying? Because you my mans now. That's my homegirl. Like,
that's a blessing.
And also, it's just like, I see you doing the same. You're believing in yourself. I believe in myself. You're dope in your talent. I'm dope in my talent. So it's like, I see us as equal. At the end of the day, you have something to offer to the world. I have something to offer to the world. So like I think from photography has gotten me into so many circles that I thought I wasn't going to get into until I was like in my later 40s or something like that, that I really had to realize like, God bless you with something. So like, let's stop holding it back and all that.
Do what you do.
Let's just find out the craft. Let's really understand. Let's master this. So take out any time that you have or that you need to go ahead and find something out, find it out. But you just continue just to get better. But
Gotcha.
I just been really blessed to
make people look good.
Yeah,
that's what you do. You make them look good.
It's dope.
You enhance the features.
It's dope. It's dope to the thing. How I look at it is like it's just dope to see. It's dope to see people when their spirit bleeds out. That's the thing. So like when I do it now, like I do a lot of candid shots because it's like you can pose and you can fake that shit. But if I'm having a conversation with you and you lose your fucking mind off a joke I said, your spirit is blasting out of your fucking body.
Yeah.
I'm capturing that shit. Moment. So even if I've had like there's certain people I shoot for, they don't like those moments, which is fine, and I can go ahead and get that. But at the end of the day, like for something that I want to see in the future, where I want to see black men smiling more, I want to see women exuding like so much happiness, like those are the shits I like to document. So it's just dope to see that like my biggest accomplishment is that I can get the person that's out on the street and I can get like the highest celebrity to have the same type of emotion. So everybody's fucking equal. So that's what I really want to be able to do. Try to bridge this gap to understand that, like,
I like that.
You know what I mean?
That's mad dope.
So
now you spoke about like mastering your craft and just honing in on your skills with that the gift that God gave you.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone who's listening and they want to do photography, like, let's say somebody just spoke, I'm like, I want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break down the grind in the process of like what photography really is? Because some people just see the perception, like, oh, he knows that celebrity or he's doing this, but they don't understand like the grind of like getting to that point. So can you break down the process, meaning like getting the gig and networking, like that's that whole someone know love for someone, like what they should be prepared for to do?
Well, I'm only going to come from obviously my perspective, but
yeah, of course,
if anybody's going to get into photography, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to say, but like actually fucking care. Like anybody that you're shooting, it's not like that's what I'm saying. Like get out of the bag, right. Because like if you're going, for example, if you're going to shoot like a fucking family reunion or like a wedding or like a baby shower or something like that shit happens once. Like you're there to freeze the fucking moment so that this family for the next 80 years can now have this moment. Like you are responsible for that shit. So I feel like with photography, a lot of people just jump in because they feel like it's easy. I can just point. Like because our technology has evolved in such a way where it's like, well, I'm going to just do this shit. But it's not a lot of care. So it's really like you're not really understanding what you're shooting in the moment. Like I need you to understand the fucking moment. So I'm more of a deep type of dude.
No, that's true. You have to care about what it is.
If it was like you jumping into photography, like of course you can easily just go ahead. You got a bag. Go ahead and get yourself a camera. You just go ahead and you master it and whatnot. I think a lot of dudes come up off of naked women and all that. If you want the quickest way, you go ahead and get a bunch of ladies.
Yeah, that's true.
They got to be fine as fuck. The next thing you know, you go ahead and you get that. Start getting them to dress a little less and all that, and then boom, like you get thousands of followers. That's the easy way. But like you just
the grind part is just knowing it.
The grind part. For me, the grind part was because I didn't really know the technical side and like that, so I just had to work on everything. The grind part is like finding out every single thing that you can be able to shoot. Like I just like every day I fucking shot something. Like when I went to go take out the trash, I saw a dog. I went back to go get my camera and I was like, snow and dog. Never shot this before. And I stayed out there with this random ass dog for like 30 minutes.
Right.
Cause I was like, it's a different way to shoot.
No, it's true. And you like
you dig what I'm saying?
That's how you know you love what you do. It's like I don't care how cold it is. Like I gotta get this snow effect going on.
I mean, the dog was vibing and shit like that, but it's the grind. The grind is just like shit. Just making sure. I mean, if I was to give anybody any type of tip, it would be this quickly. Learn your local artists. I know it sounds like I'm not doing that shit, but you never know who people know, and there's a whole lot of local artists that didn't make it, but they are definitely known. They're in the ground level of like where everything is swelling at and all that. So you capture them. And just make sure you're getting, and anybody you take a picture of, don't hoard it. Make sure that you're getting the contacts. You can always send it to them because each person that you send it to, if you blow someone away, that's another client.
Yeah, and then they're gonna send it. Word of mouth is crazy.
Talk about it.
Word of mouth is more better than social media.
Yeah, and you just want to be that guy. You want to be that person. So like, they just remember that one time you may have taken one shot of them, like that shit was beautiful. So when they hear from a photographer, they bring you up. So you just gotta you really just gotta stay on your shit. But like, if I was to offer anything, just like give a fuck. Don't get into this for the right reason, and just don't get into this because there's a responsibility with this.
Right.
There's a heavy responsibility.
So outside of photography, you've done like some producing films.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I saw the stuff from Bleacher Report and stuff on your site, which was dope.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I learned going off your social media, and I saw it the Rana test Quiet Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it and you posted it, and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy, because it was a really really good documentary.
Yeah.
Like you just. So what role did you play with that project?
I was a photographer and associate producer on it.
Oh, that's dope. So how was that experience?
I knew that my OG finally got his passion project.
Okay.
So I always told him, like, even when I was working at BR, I was like, yo, like, you know, I really want to be able to work with you. I couldn't do it when I was there. But when I was by myself, before I separated, I was like, yo, like, I can do something with you now. And I felt like I seen him in New York a couple times. He had a couple shoots. I'm sitting there like, damn, man, like, you're not hitting me up. Then I seen that he was saying that, like, Ron Artest is a thing. And I hit him up. I was like, some real shit. I was like, yo, stop fucking playing with me, bro. Like, OG, like, I told you we need to work together and all that. Like, what's up? I know you're in New York and I know this your passion project. Yeah, like, I feel you got like, I wasn't trying to hear about the whole, like, you know, at the time I didn't have an LLC and all that type of shit. Right. He wanted to, I'm just like, yo, like, I need to get this. Like, and after he was like, I need a black and white photographer. I was like, when? So then after that, he had told me when the date was, and I knew the camera that I had wasn't full frame. So I went out to a sister's crib, and I remember I rented her camera because I knew it was full frame. I went back to the crib. I shot my homeboy to get used to the camera. Then the next day, I went and shot Queensbridge and shot like Nas's home and Mobb Deep's home and Ron Artest, and like it was a blessing. It was really a blessing because like I was shooting on a camera I never shot before. I only had like dope. 3 hours of like actually understanding it. But it's all about just jumping out on faith and understanding that like.
That's right.
But the dope thing was when I got there, the dope thing is when you grow to a point where people don't hire you to do something like them. They say, I already know what you do, go do what you do. So I was just out in the streets for hours. And I can just test out and be like, oh, I got my lighting. Oh, that's dope. Oh, all right. Bet. And once I started getting comfortable, it was just like, boom, I had that. And plus I helped them out with like the production and anything like that. If anything, like any ideas, if anything needed to be like fixed or anything like that. So that's like the role of a social producer. Dope. So yeah, I'm on I can get something pretty nice off of that. We'll have another time where I tell you about.
I was gonna say, you have anything else coming up in the future?
No, it's more personal. It's more personal things that I have brewing up.
We can't mention it, right?
Not yet, but I'll definitely
keep me posted.
Yeah,
right.
It's not about no. I'm not gonna hit you without keep you posted. I'm not.
No.
You put that? No, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
I got you. No, I ain't gonna hit you with that. It's things that I'm like I said. It came out of a cocoon stage, so it's mainly about like the structure now and how I'm going to roll out things and all. But I do, and plus through that cocoon stage, I have like a lot of unreleased content. So it's gonna be a lot of things that are gonna come out. That's going to be like, what the fuck were you doing in a room with that person? It's like, yeah, I was.
I feel you. Like this podcast, ain't nothing being released until later. Just gotta, get the structure. I like that, the cocoon phase. I like that.
Put that motherfucker in the oven and have it come out right.
Yeah, I like that. The cocoon phase, man. So we got
coming out as a Butterfree. You know what I'm saying? That's I was a fucking Metapod. You know what I mean? I had to come out as the Butterfree.
I hear that, boy. So look, we got some ad-libs in the back right there. Dog. So I got this quick round. It's called Keeping It Candid.
Keeping It Candid, let's do it.
Real quick. Favorite camera and lens?
Your favorite camera lens? Child, you listen.
Your go-to.
Oh, the go-to. I mean, I know what joint I want right now, so I'm gonna speak that out into existence. Okay. It's just like the Sony. I think it's a Sony A7 II. And then it got like the lens like a 28 to 70. That bitch is with 42 megapixels. Yeah, that thing is crispy.
For real?
That thing is magical.
Like some 4K.
It's just I mean, you can have it in 4K, but it's on like the picture side. This shit is just like it's like automatic like cover type quality.
Oh wow! Okay.
With good lights, I know why how they're able to get certain type of things. I'm like, oh okay, you're done. This? Yeah.
All right. If I can switch professions for 24 hours, I would be.
Shit. If I could switch for 24 hours?
24 hours.
And I was like talented in it?
Yeah. It's just like you got the gift.
I would be on some ET shit. I would. Because you know the reason why? You know the reason why?
Yeah, why?
Because that motherfucker gets to inspire thousands of fucking people every day.
Okay.
And if I could have like 24 hours, that guy was like, you can just like now inspire 10,000 people to be themselves. I'm like, hell yeah, me that shit.
Okay. Nah, he's good. You be yelling at people.
Huh?
You could do this.
Yeah, I don't know what vibe I would come with, but I know if God was like, listen, I'll give you the perfect words, just go talk to that beat. I'll be like, word, all right, bet.
All
So
right.
I would do that.
Last song I listened to was.
Last song I listened to was Buju Banton Bogle.
Okay. That's the vibe we was on.
Yeah, I be on some shit a lot of times. But then
Okay.
I was like disco before then, like house music before, and like a little bit of Jaheim. Like that shit is
Eclectic. I
yeah,
get you. I was into
the
Little
ears kind of
Baby.
different. What song?
Time with Meek Mill. I was into the album, so it was just going.
Oh yeah.
through it. That's why.
He killed that joint with the baby though.
Yo, that's my joint.
That motherfucker.
I like the
that
baby.
motherfucker
The
got
baby
flow.
album told the song Tolls of him, Moneybag Yo, and Gucci Man. No,
I know
yeah, that
yeah, I
joint.
know
I
what you're
mean
talking
the
about.
baby.
As much as people want to come at Gunna, that motherfucker got a flow.
I gotta go back and listen to him. All right, we got 3 more. The last dumb purchase I made was.
Dumbass purchase. I'm gonna buy some cheap ass jeans and then trying to save them motherfuckers. I
know the feeling.
That's what I'm saying. Like I really tried it. I started putting like a scarf around.
Word.
Yeah, because I had like an extra dick hole. Like it was bad. Like so, I used to put the scarf on the belt, and motherfuckers was like, "Oh, that's swag." I'm like, "Yeah, this shit fly." But it was a whole hole that was there, and I was covering that motherfucker up like an apron. And so it's a dumbass person. I gotta invest in getting better clothes. So
not happy. You be on the run, on the grind.
Yeah.
The last concert I attended as a fan, not a creative, not a photographer. It's just
that shit is wild because I'm Ludacris back in college.
That's the last one.
I never went to like a concert or anything like that. I mean, I went to like no, I took pictures of Afropunk in the crowd though, so I was there.
Oh, but it wasn't
I
like you wasn't on the assignment. Were you on assignment?
I was in the joint just like, get up Solange. But I mean, as a fan, I guess it was Solange and I guess Afropunk, I guess, but I still shot it.
All right, no, that's cool. That's cool. So, any like last words that you want to like give to our listeners, real quick?
It's probably be a words of inspiration part.
I mean, whatever you want to say. You can say like, "Don't get in my lane." I got. I'm playing.
No, that's mad ego. Fuck that. If I was to have any last thing, be able to say, find out the Rubik's Cube that's inside of you, because that's the thing that will separate you from everyone else.
That's deep.
God put a Rubik's Cube in all of us. Find out how to solve it.
All right.
And all your answers will be answered.
We gotta do
this. Yeah, that was it.
That was solid.
Yeah, that was it right there.
That was solid. That's gonna be the title for the show. Find the Rubik's Cube inside of you.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the title for the show.
All right,
find the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, find out that Rubik's Cube.
Well, I want to thank you for coming. Thank you. Oh, for those who don't see, you brought me flowers.
Yeah, man, I had to put the bouquet.
And he made them. So that's his next profession. He's gonna be arranging flowers too.
Nobody can see it, so I can say it's the most extraordinary thing.
You know,
the color's magnificent.
Exactly. I'm gonna go green, replant them. That's how real it is.
She needs to go ahead and put that in there because it's nothing but life in that bouquet right there.
See, and I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Thank you for coming, Kyle. Man, I appreciate it. I am Candid Nicole. This is Just Being Candid, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace, y'all.